Welcome to another episode on our channel. So last but not least is Kurt Russell, who portrayed Wyatt Earp in the movie Tombstone. You'll see all the characters at the end of this episode that we've been talking about. But Tombstone, again, a favorite movie of mine. So the Earps came from a large family. There were several siblings. The oldest boy was James, then Virgil, who we know in the movie. Martha was next. Wyatt was the fourth of 7 full siblings. Then there was Morgan, Warren, and Adelia. They had 2 half siblings, Newton and Mariah. So a large family. And this movie, of course, included Wyatt, Virgil, and Morgan, with the Earp brothers, Doc Holliday, and of course the primary antagonist is Johnny Ringo. So Kurt Russell portrayed Wyatt Earp. It's interesting that Wyatt Earp in real life moved to California or Hollywood in 1915. He actually was a Western consultant to the movies. And I just thought that was interesting that he lived long enough to contribute to movies back in the early 1900s. What else can I tell you about the movie itself? It was actually slated to be over 3 hours long. And it was cut quite a bit. The love story between Wyatt and Josephine, Kurt Russell and Dana Delaney, was a lot of that was cut out to make the movie pace better, I guess. And what I didn't know is that George Cosmatos, who was the director of the film, was actually paid by Kurt Russell to be the quote-unquote director. He was actually doing a lot of the directing, which seemed to be confirmed by Val Kilmer. And he just made a promise with George he wouldn't reveal any of this until George died. So it was this secret for quite some time. Just an awesome movie. I mean, if you haven't seen it, you should see it. There was some debate about whether the huckleberry was actually that word huckleberry. I'm your huckleberry, what it meant. Was it hucklebearer? Was it huckleberry? What was it designed to be? But apparently it's a Southern phrase that means, if you want to fight, I'm your man, or if you want to dance, I'm willing to dance with you. So it doesn't mean dancing. It's just, it's about fighting. So a hucklebearer would be somebody who would carry the casket, but according to some people on the internet, the 4th draft, at least verified by the 4th draft, it does say the word huckleberry in it. And I actually got my hands on a 6th draft, and on page 102 of this draft, it does say huckleberry as well. So I'm sure that's the word that was designed to be in the movie. The thing about the movie that was so fascinating was not only apparently was this one of the few movies that kind of got the history right about it's not perfect, but at least is mentioned as being perhaps the most accurate to reality. Of course, not perfect. OK Corral and so forth. Again, not perfect, but probably the most accurate. But the that one scene in the saloon where Johnny Ringo is doing all that fancy gunslinging movements, and so he actually did that himself. Practice and practice and practice until he had it down, as did Val Kilmer, with his movements with the cup and so forth. But he also, at one point in the film, you have to really look closely, but he's flinging one of his guns one way and the other one the other way, and then putting it in. It's just so, the fine motor coordination was just perfect. He could do, finger walking things, like with the coin. He did the finger walking things, but that was similar to what he did in Top Gun with a pen. So he had fine mobility and just great motor coordination in the film. What we know is that, according to Michael Biehn, he and Val Kilmer didn't really talk to each other. I don't know if that was part of, you're on the other side, we don't talk. It just didn't become clear in the interview I listened to, but and he kept saying we just never really talked to each other, but they did do some talking about that final scene, because they wanted to do it different, not at 10 paces and you're just standing there and you draw. They came up with the idea of being what they called intimate with the scene. Not intimate in terms of love, but intimate in terms of closeness, is my sense. And so they decided to be very close and would circle each other for that final shooting scene. Regardless, it came off as an amazing film, and one that I won't soon readily forget. I love the film. I loved the actors, the actresses in the film. It was awesome. Just a sight to behold. But here is Wyatt Earp, portrayed by Kurt Russell. It's a Redman Toys figure from top of the head down to the feet. So we'll pause now and get some close-ups of that. So here again is the same stand, but this came with this figure. This is the Redman Toys stand with Wyatt Earp, his name on it. He has black boots. He has spurs on his boots, so that's very different from the other figures I have. He's got black pants, but they're a little more form-fitting than the pants I have on Virgil and Morgan. But you have to understand, those are completely customized figures, the Virgil and Morgan figures. He has a long coat. He's got the shotgun that does open up. You can put a couple shells in it. He's got the handgun that's from the movie. They did get it as accurate as they possibly could. He's got the holster rig. He's got the pocket watch, the vest on, the medal, the Western tie, high collar white shirt. I mean, it's all here. The head sculpt is really a good head sculpt. The hat matches the hat in the movie. So this is probably the most, it's most in line with the Tombstone movie, this Kurt Russell figure. I did use a lot of Val Kilmer from Redman Toys, but there were some things I changed on Val Kilmer. So I changed out the pants. I put him in a long black jacket, not unlike this one, but not identical to this one. It's identical to the ones in the Wyatt brothers. So I kept the red vest, the gray tie on Val Kilmer, the shirt that was used for Val Kilmer from Redman Toys, the hat, the head sculpt, and just changed a few things like the pants, the long jacket, and made a holster rig that would be worn on his hip, his waist, and kept the shoulder rig and handgun from Redman Toys. But this one is completely Redman Toys. So we'll pause now and get some close-ups from his hands on up side to side. So we are back, and here's Kurt Russell, who portrayed Wyatt Earp in Tombstone. It's a Redman Toys figure, as I've noted before. I also had gotten a Redman Toys and a Present Toys Val Kilmer. I liked the Redman Toys, some of the articles of clothing on the Redman Toys better, but I did customize the Val Kilmer figure. This one I didn't touch. So you can see the handgun here. It's a really good facsimile of the actual handgun that was used in Tombstone. You can see the shotgun, a piece of it anyway, down here. pocket watch that literally fits into the pocket. This is such a cool touch. The deputy marshal badge on his vest. He has a vest. He has a Western necktie with a diamond, or, facsimile of a diamond on it. High collar shirt. I love that. Head sculpt, wonderful. Hat, perfect. This figure did come with a plain head without the hat on, because underneath this hat, in order for this hat to fit on this head, pieces of the head are missing. But I wasn't going to pose him without the hat on, so I eventually sold the head sculpt to Kurt Russell. Maybe in hindsight, I should have not done that, but for me, it's not a big issue because I love the set as I have it today. So we'll just go side to side so you can see a bit more of him. His profile shot. This really looks like Kurt Russell. Love the way he's adorned with all the clothing and the accessories that he has on. It's exceptional. So yeah, there you go. We are back, and this is a very nice close-up of Kurt Russell in Tombstone. Excellent profile shots too. It did come with an additional head in case you didn't want to have the hat on. And obviously with a hat, you have to make it fit. So if you just keep this part, you'll always have to use the hat. But I'm good with that. I eventually sold the additional head. In retrospect, perhaps I should have kept it, but personally, I don't ever see myself posing this figure without the hat. So I'm good. We are back, and here is Kurt Russell, who portrayed Wyatt Earp, Sam Elliott, who portrayed Virgil Earp, Bill Paxton, who portrayed Morgan Earp, Val Kilmer, who portrayed Doc Holliday, and finally, Michael Biehn, who portrayed Johnny Ringo. I hope you've liked what you've seen. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up, subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, please have a great day.